Hello! Hello! And welcome back to Basement Movie Room. We're back, and I don't think we said this in the last video, but we're doing the secret picks. He picks one.
Yes.
I pick one. And we don't know what each other is picking. But this is my pick, and the previous pick for him, which the video should go up first, unless I forget which one we did first, is Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend, or something to that effect. Yep. This one is Ravenous, which is the 1999 film from Guy... I can't remember. I don't even know who directed it. I don't think I looked. Guy Pearce. It stars in this Robert Carlyle, Jeffrey Jones, David Arquette, Neil McDonough. It's got actually a pretty good cast.
Yeah,
overall.
Pretty good cast.
So Ravenous follows Captain Boyd, Guy Pearce's character. He is in like this ceremony to start the movie, and he's being awarded a medal for heroism, but ultimately I think the general knows he wasn't actually heroic. He was actually a coward that led to his actual thing that he did, where he captured the command of I think it's the Mexican-American War.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So he had, you get flashbacks throughout the movie of what actually happened. He faked death and then was left on the battlefield, got behind enemy lines, and captured the captains of the Mexicans who they were fighting. So he gets, in this dinner, the captain says, I'm not going to have you in my regiment. I'm going to assign you here. So he gets assigned to an outpost in the Rocky Mountains where Jeffrey Jones is the head. And essentially you get the feeling this outpost is like the rejects. It's not anything important. They just send people out there. So he's in the outpost, and he's having flashbacks to this battle he was in where he became a hero, technically. And Robert Carlyle's character shows up as Calhoun.
Yeah, Calhoun.
And is explaining that his party was running through the mountains, and there was a military captain ahead of their party, and they got trapped in a cave, and they became cannibals. And Carlyle is explaining that he participated in this, and that, the cannibalism, he regrets it, and that Captain Ives, who he says is the bad guy here, was like just killing people to eat them because he became a cannibal. And then you have two Native American characters who explain the cannibals as Wendigo, essentially the evil spirits. Yeah. So Jeffrey Jones, David Arquette, Guy Pearce, Neil McDonough, and Jeremy Davies, also in this movie, go out to investigate this cave. And essentially they discover when they're at the cave that all these people that Carlyle's character of Calhoun was explaining are all dead, and that they were cannibalized by Robert Carlyle's character, who is actually Captain Ives. So McDonough is like, kill him. And, of course, Ives takes over, kills Jeffrey Jones, or stabs Jeffrey Jones' character. Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So stabs and guts Jeffrey Jones' character, chases down and kills Jeremy Davies' character, and a chase ensues where Guy Pearce and Neil McDonough end up falling off the edge of a cliff. They shoot Carlyle's character, but he doesn't seem to be killed. There's some mysticism going on in the movie where cannibalism heals you. So Pierce goes back to the base. The other guys from the first of the movie, the captain or the general and stuff, show up. He explains to them, and Captain Ives shows up, and they don't believe Guy Pearce, and so he kind of has to, I don't even know how to explain it. The plot doesn't make a lot of sense, unless you're seeing it, to be honest. It makes sense when you're watching this movie. But just Captain Ives is a cannibal. Guy Pearce has to participate in cannibalism to survive because he has a compound fracture. But essentially, cannibalism in this movie is a superpower.
You brought up the whole vampire aspect.
Yeah, it's almost vampiric in nature.
So
because eating human flesh gives them superpowers.
Yeah.
He shoots Carlyle at some point, and they're like, "Oh, let's check to see if Carlyle has the scar from the shooting, to see if you're telling the truth." And they don't believe Guy Pearce because there's no scar. Yeah. He completely healed.
He shows the wrong shoulder at first.
Yeah.
So you're like,
I don't even know if it's the wrong shoulder, to be honest. I thought he shot him in that shoulder.
I thought he shot him in the chest, but But either way.
Yeah. But, I mean, ultimately, I'm going to stop there. I'll let you watch the movie. The ending, I'm not going to go through the complete plot, but the ending is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But the movie is ultimately saved by the leads, Guy Pearce and Robert Carlyle, because they're kind of co-leads. They're not, one's a lead, one's supporting the lead. But Carlyle and Guy Pearce are fantastic in this movie. Jeffrey Jones is good. I'll give it to him, even though his background is not fantastic to look at. But Carlyle and Guy Pearce make the movie. They're really, Carlyle especially, I'll be honest, as the villain.
Yeah.
Because he is just completely amazing. Yeah. I mean, I love Carlyle.
There's a couple scenes where you're just like, he just sucks you in, man, with his acting.
That's
you're like,
Scottish accent.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was telling him, like Train Spotting, Yeah. Carlyle's amazing in Train Spotting. Excuse me. So it's just like, every time Carlyle's on the scene, on the screen, you can't take your eyes off of him because he's so good. And Pearce is the same way.
Yeah.
When you focus on other characters, 100%. It gets less good, to be honest. Like David Arquette's character is completely crazy. Jeremy Davies is completely crazy. It's just like...
And you really can't take those characters that serious.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not serious characters.
They're made for you to think that way about them. You know, they're almost not, I wouldn't say throwaway characters, but they're
there
point
to die.
Yeah.
They're there to die.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's almost like, Arquette's in Scream, but Drew Barrymore was in Scream to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're there to die. They're there to be cannon fodder.
Those are best roles.
Yeah. E.T.'s good.
Yeah, E.T.
Yeah. So ultimately, you get like a final showdown where Guy Pearce is like, I can't let this guy escape, and Carlisle's going to fight to the bitter end, and they love using like Jesus Christ in this, and Carlyle almost looks like him in parts of this movie. It's crazy, and puts a cross on his head in blood at the end of the movie. I think the movie's really, really good. I really do. But I will let you talk about this. I'm going to let you go ahead because I know you're going to have something to say about this. So go ahead.
So worst score I've ever heard in a movie. A serious movie, a good movie. Worst score, it takes you out of so many scenes. There's one chase scene in this, which is like... It's like a happy, joyous.
It's a weird score.
It's so weird, but it's like they correct it kind of halfway through the movie, and then they go back to the weird score that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you would play Happy Birthday during a killing scene. Is the best way I can describe it.
It scores bad.
Yeah.
Like, it has its moments, but it's bad.
And it got a little better at the end. Yeah. They kind of figured out, this is a scary scene. Yeah. So we need to play the horror element to it.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah, and it really took you out of a lot of scenes, and
Yeah, and the score, I didn't recognize one of the guys who did it, but Damon Albarn did part of the score. Supposedly he didn't do much of it, but that's the lead singer of Blur, the Woohoo song number 2. It was just weird. It didn't work. Like, I remember watching this movie years ago, and I don't remember how bad the score was, but it's bad. Yeah, it's in my opinion, your opinion as well.
Yeah, like you said, if somebody redid the score on this movie,
okay,
this movie would
interruption.
This movie would probably be a little bit better.
Yeah,
because those intense scenes, were meant to be intense, and they were a farce. The music because it was so bad. The music was bad.
It's so bad,
and that's a testament to a lot of these composers that know when and how to play off of the scene with their music. So
I don't know what they were thinking with the score in this movie. And I don't remember when I watched it when it came out that the score was this bad, but it is.
It was borderline aggravating.
Yeah, and that may be the longest we've ever discussed score on this channel because it was so bad.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
It kept coming up.
Yeah,
there was a conversation during the movie.
We could not stop.
Oh my God, what is this?
Terrible, terrible.
Yeah,
and I even had to look it up in the middle of the movie what the score was. I just had to. It was bad.
I mean, I'm sure those guys are, they're really good at what they do, but not in that movie.
Him and Albert love his music otherwise, but not for scoring a film.
Yeah,
it did not work.
Did not even remotely close.
Yeah.
There were some scenes, not going to discredit the whole score, but there was a couple scenes where it fell in place.
It was the more bass drum scenes. Yeah, the bass drum. The worked.
So, the mundane.
I even said, there's even some area where it almost sounds Carpenter-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Halloween score. And it worked then, but it didn't work otherwise.
Yeah. It was not well composed.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, let's go to rating. I'll go first. So, I'm waffling on this one.
It's a tough one.
I'm having a tough time because I really enjoy the movie, but I think I'm going to have it at 3.5 because that score just takes so much away from it.
Yeah.
3.5. I would have given it a 4, but the score just pulls me out of it in spots. So 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. I think it's worth watching. Just ignore the score.
Yeah. You can. I was at a 3.2.
Yeah.
The score was a big,
it's a problem.
It was a big problem for me.
Yeah.
But then I kept thinking during the movie, I kept telling you, I was like, I think a lot of those scenes were just in his head. And they played it like that too.
Yes.
Because all the,
and there were
cannibalistic.
There were some scenes that were in his head.
Yeah.
So it's hard
So what was in his head and what wasn't might be something to go back and watch because who knows what actually happened because the contrasting stories.
It certainly isn't clear.
Yeah. And him and Pearce and the other lead were they were amazing. And they made the movie work.
Carlyle.
Yeah, Carlyle. They made the movie work. Without them,
it's worth seeing. Maybe ignore the score when you see it.
I don't know if you can though.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's really hard. The score's bad.
Yeah,
and I don't recognize the other guy.
Baby's score is better than this.
Yeah, well, that's Jerry Gold.
Jerry Gold.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next time on Basement Movie Room. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
He was licking me!
Ravenous.
Bon appetit.